What's up? What's up, y'all? It's What's Real. About to begin in like 1 minute. Check me out. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum. What's up, everybody? Welcome to What's Real. Y'all know how it go. It goes down. And I always have to introduce this. Let me move this off the screen right quick. As I do my disclaimer, as usual, this segment was put together as an outlet for friends and the general audience to chat about the concerns and opinions as they relate to the global situation, circumstances. As you know, we're not experts in any way in the medical, legal, or religion or politics. But I like to say this information is just our opinions from each individual as my guest, and this does not reflect our businesses or our sponsors. Welcome to What's Real, y'all. Now, as I always say, I got a special guest, and it is my good friend. I always say my good friend because you know what, people? It is my good friend. I'm about to introduce y'all to me, a legend. My main man, good friend of mine, name is Ron Carbo, the talented Grammy Award winning producer, super producer. Several people on the slate. If you guys remember New Kids on the Block, worked with Brian McKnight, Wynton Marsalis, and the list goes on and on. I'm about to bring in my main man, Mr. Ron Carbo, in 5, 4, 3, 2. Ron, what's up, baby?
Hey, what up, man? What up? What up? How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed, brother, man. Thank you for being on the show, man. You know, it's a great honor to have you here, man. I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. I see the studio back there popping, because that's where them hits be made. Man, listen.
Yeah, we be cooking up the hits here in the Soul Kitchen.
Hey, man, I love it, man. I wanted to just first of all let the public know, man, that me and you go way back. But on top of that, people, I'm introducing to you guys. This gentleman is one of the first professional people that I kind of like encountered while I was in college. He doesn't know this, so I've never really probably said this, but I'm saying it now, man. I want to just thank you because you are a part of Cooley Video's career, and you are one of the people that helped catapult it to the next level by working with me as I was a senior in college and giving me guidance. And the words that you gave me back then, I still use today, and I have passed them on. When you told me, and you might remember this, you might not, but you said, Cooley, never burn any, treat everybody the same, regardless if it's the janitor, if it's the CEO. I mean, when you told me those things, to stay humble, and you'll be successful. Those things, I play in my head all the time, and I always refer back to you because, I mean, me as a senior in college meeting you, and you have already working with some of the biggest names in the game. At that time, it's just like amazing to me that you were so kind and took me under your wing and said, look, man, you talented, but still stay humble, regardless of how good you may be. And so, brother, I want to just thank you, man. I really appreciate that. If I never said it, I'm saying it now to the world. Ron Carbo, man, you have been.
I definitely appreciate that. I'm glad you actually took some advice and did something with it, because most people don't. But somebody helped me when I was coming up. it was a guy named Greg McPherson who opened the doors for me and created my opportunities. And he set me down in the car one night, and he was schooling me on the game. And one of the things he told me, he said, "You better not ever charge somebody for this knowledge that I gave you for free. Pass it on."
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do now. You know, I continually try to pass on knowledge and, you know, make things, you know, help young artists, you know, come up the ladder.
Well, my brother, you definitely have, man. And like I said again, I give you, you know, much accolades as possible. You know, now I'm gonna jump into a quick interview, man. Let the people know, Ron, you have been working with several artists throughout the years, and I slate you as, you know, new kids on the block. For people that some people generation might remember it, but my generation know who New Kids on the Block is. Can you just tell the people, man, how was that at that time? And you know what, even go back, take us back to I mean Wynton Marsalis and you know Brian
Well,
McKnight.
actually, let's see. Wynton Marsalis actually came after the New Kids.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, let's
so
go with New Kids on the Block.
Was actually first. Actually,
Okay.
I was a senior at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and I met this guy named Greg McPherson.
Okay.
So he was teaching there. He was the teacher. So he had left to go work for Maurice Starr, who was the producer of New Kids as well as New Edition.
Right.
So while, you know, I used to bug Greg all the time. Hey, man, I want to learn how to produce and engineer. Of course, I had no skills at that time. So I was bugging him. So I would tell him, he said, "Come to the studio, man." So I procrastinated a few months. And then I saw him again. "Hey, man, I want to come." And I procrastinated again.
Right.
Last time I asked him, he said, don't waste my time like that. But he tricked me. He said, "I need a ride to the studio." So I took it to the studio, and he said, "Oh, man, come on upstairs." But now the whole time I had read an article about Maurice Starr, this guy who I wanted to meet.
Okay.
So we went in, you know, he said, "Come on up to the studio." So I went upstairs, and we sitting there with all the lights and the mix consoles and all of that. So I was hooked. I was like, "Oh, man, I always wanted to do this."
Right.
So Greg was like, "Man, I've been trying to get you here about 7 months."
Wow.
So I had burnt, like I had wasted all that time procrastinating.
Wow.
So then there was this big guy came in the studio. He was kind of heavy set. He had a guitar. He had a little ponytail. He had a guitar and a box of chicken. And he was sitting on the sofa, and he was kind of just plucking on the guitar. So, you know, we were all talking. So I asked Greg, I said, "Hey, man, you ever heard of a guy named Maurice Starr?" And they started laughing. Little did I know that the guy sitting on the sofa was Maurice Starr.
What?
I didn't even know who he was. I'm sitting in his studio and didn't even know who he was.
Wow.
So from there, I just started hanging out in the studio, and Greg told me, "Say, man, sit in this chair right here." It was a recliner in the studio. So he said, "Sit in this chair.
Yeah.
Don't move. Don't touch nothing. Don't do anything." He said, "All I want you to do is watch, observe, understand how we run the studio, learn studio etiquette, you know, just learn the business of how to deal with egos and attitudes, and if somebody loses their confidence, how to restore it." You know, so we went through that whole process. So I sat in that chair for about 3 months. You know, girls would come to the studio and look at me. They thought I was slow or something. They was like, "Why is he sitting in the chair all the time?" So one night, Greg called me and said, "Hey, man, they got a job opening at the studio."
Okay.
I was like, "All right, bet." You know, producing, engineering, you know, whatever. Now, granted, I have no skills.
Right.
So he said, "You know, there's a job on it." I said, "Well, what is it?" He said, "It's a janitor position." I was like, "Man, I don't even clean my own apartment. You know, I'm not trying to be a janitor at the studio. Plus, they got girls there. I don't want them to see me pushing a mop and sweeping and vacuuming." He said, "Look, take the job. You'll have keys to the studio. You'll have access to all the sessions. You get to go to all the shows. You got everything."
That's dope.
So I did that for a while. I took the job. I did it for a while. And then what ended up happening, one night, Maurice called the studio about 3 in the morning. Because I would work, the studio was open from 10 in the morning to 12 midnight. But because I had keys, I would stay and practice at night. And whatever the engineers were doing in the daytime, I would practice on it at night.
That's dope, man.
So Maurice happened to call the studio like 3 o'clock one morning. The first thing he said, "What the hell are you doing there?" I said, "Oh, you know, I'm still cleaning up. You know, I got some things to clean up or whatever." You know, I was lying, of course.
Exactly.
And so he said, "Are any other engineers there?" And I said, "No, they all gone." He's like, "Damn, I had an idea I wanted to put down before I forget it." So I took a shot. I said, "Well, I can do the session."
You serious?
I had never done a session in my life. That was the first session I ever did.
Oh my
But I had
God.
been watching the guys during the daytime. That I knew I could get it on tape.
Exactly.
Okay? So he came in and he recorded it. And that was on a Thursday. I came back to work Friday, pushed him out.
Right.
Saturday and Sunday we was off. When I came back to work on Monday, there was another janitor.
Oh
I was
wow.
like, damn, I'd have lost my job. I'd have got fired as a janitor. So what was funny, I'm in the office now
Right.
arguing for a job that I didn't want in the first place. Trying to argue for this janitor position. And
Right.
he said, the studio manager was like, nah, man, Maurice moved you up to assistant engineer
From being a janitor. That's
from
crazy,
being a
man.
janitor. But I took a shot and did that session. Once he saw I was able to do that, he
Exactly.
moved me up to assistant engineer. And then from there on, I was rolling then.
Wow. So then how did you meet the producers that work with New Kids on the Block? Because I mean at that point they
Well, I
was
mean,
like,
they were all in the studio. Like Maurice was one
oh,
of the main producers. So I was around all of them coming up.
got you.
So
Whoa.
the first big record I worked on was Hanging Tough that sold 10 million copies.
Dang. Woo.
So I got fortunate. And then we did Step by Step, and we did the Christmas album, and we did, I think it was one more. And that sold, and then that just started segueing into all other kinds of stuff, just
Dude, that's
because
amazing.
by them being the biggest group in the world at that time, they were the largest pop group in the world.
Exactly.
I mean, they sold probably close to 30 million records.
That's crazy, man. I mean,
So,
you being a part of that, that's just so awesome, man.
yeah, I was
And
there. I was able to see it from the ground up. I was able to watch it from, all of that good vibration, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, all that
Right.
stuff came through there at the same time.
Whoa.
We
Whoa.
did the Sister Act. We were able to do the Sister Act soundtrack. There was a group on there named Lady Soul.
Okay.
I worked on the last song on the Sister Act soundtrack. It was just a lot of stuff that was pumping through there at that time. So we were rolling. We were making it happen. So that was just part of the gig.
Man, I mean, your story is incredible, man. I mean, like, so then you segue over to how did you meet? Did you meet Wynton Marsalis first? Or I mean, I know Brian McKnight's in the picture too.
Well,
Now.
no, actually, I knew Wynton Marsalis from way back in high school.
So hold on. Now, people, I mean, now this audience, I'm not sure, Ron, if they know who Wynton is. Just give them a little bit of who Wynton
Wynton
is.
Marsalis is probably the premier trumpet player for the last 30 years, probably. He's a 9-time Grammy winner. He's won a Pulitzer Prize. He has honorary doctorates from all the Ivy Leagues. You name it, he's done it. So, I mean, it's nothing. Actually, I teased him last time I saw him. I said, now you're about 56, 57 years old.
Right,
and
right.
You're completely maxed out on everything that you could do in the world of jazz. What's left?
Right. See, this is the thing, folks. I wanted y'all to realize that this gentleman, Mr. Carbo, has been in the game and he has worked with some major players. And I mean, just like I said again, is sometimes, my audience and my people that I try to bring to the show is people you might have not heard of, but they got Grammys. They was a part of the scene. They made it happen. So this man made it happen. Now from Wynton to Brian McKnight, tell us about Brian, and Brian working together.
Well, it was funny it was funny how I got the gig. So I don't know if I should tell this, but anyway, I got the gig because I introduced him to a chick. Basically.
Oh, Jesus.
So we was, Brian and I was living in Boston and one of my good friends, Earl Johnson, was playing keyboards for him. So Earl said, man, I got this guy, Brian McKnight. I want to bring him by your house so you can meet him. That was when Brian's first album had come out.
Right.
And that's when he had One Last Cry on it. So that was the first album. The first thing I had to do was actually run and find out who was Brian McKnight, because I didn't even know who he was, really. I had heard the song. He had done a song with Vanessa Williams. So I had heard that song, but I didn't really know who Brian was. So I ran out and got the music, when I actually bought the CD from Tower Records at that time and listened to it, and I knew who he was. So when he brought him over, we got a chance to sit down, chop it up, and we used to hang out a lot. We used to actually go to, when he was in Boston, because he got his band from Berkeley.
Okay.
So he would hang out in Boston and rehearse and stuff. So we would actually go hang out at the clubs and stuff like that, and we would have a good time. And then we went to the club one day. This was prior to his marriage and all of that. You know, all of this was early Brian McKnight.
Gotcha.
So
you talking
we
about
hang
Brian
in the club. So he saw a chick he liked, but I knew the chick because I used to hang out at the club all the time.
For sure.
And, so I ran a little interference so he could meet her.
Okay.
and we were cool after that. And then he came down to Baton Rouge. I mean, he came to Mississippi, did a show at Jackson State for homecoming.
Gotcha.
And then we left there and went to Baton Rouge and did a show. And I was just riding with him. So I said, well, since I'm riding for free,
right,
let me go out here and help out with the stage, you know, because I knew how to do the production stuff. So I just went and helped out. And his tour manager, a guy named Joe Wheaton, who was the tour manager, was one of the greatest tour managers I know.
Wow.
He called me on the phone and said, hey, man, do you want to come out on tour? I said, with who? He said, with Brian. Brian wants to know if you want the job. So I was like, yeah, of course. I'm ready.
That's dope.
And I stayed. I ended up being Brian's production manager for five years.
Exactly. I mean,
so we toured and everything for 5 years. So that was during the Brian McKnight album, the I Remember You album, and the Anytime album.
Dude,
we were there for those 3 albums.
Yeah. And you know what? I remember the time. Remember when you came up? You was in Chicago. Y'all had a show, and then y'all was doing at the Star Plaza. You called me and said, "Look, man, I'm gonna be in town. Come through." And bam, you got me in the show. I'm on stage. I'm filming Brian McKnight, hanging out with my man. You know, man, I appreciate that, man. That's what I'm saying is these relationships, man, go way, way back, my brother.
Let me tell you something, though, man. The whole industry is about a relationship. I got a Berkeley degree. I got college. You know, I got a law degree. I got, MBA. I got all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, nobody ever asked me if I had a degree or even if I went to school.
Right.
What you want to know is, can you do the job?
Exactly.
That's all that matters. Can you do the job? And you know, and if you got somebody, if they got somebody they can refer to find out how you work, and they give you a good reference, then you got the gig. And that's how it works. I mean, I've never filled out an application.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? We don't do that. It's all about it's about relationships.
Exactly. The whole business. You're right.
Like we were talking earlier. I said, man, you know, we've been 25 years now.
Yeah. It don't even seem like it, man. You know,
I got 25 years now.
I got gray now.
yeah. Well, I cut mine off before I got on camera.
I got you.
Because I'm older than you, so I cut mine off.
Hey, man, listen, man. I want to keep telling you, man, I just really appreciate. Do you remember the time we went down to
New Orleans?
New Orleans, yeah, for Ziggy Marley. And now you arranged that, if I'm correct, right? For
no, that was Vincent Wright. That was a part of a class project.
Okay, got you. So he arranged. I didn't know if you had arranged it, hooked it up. But I mean, since you was from New Orleans, I just knew you had a stake in it at the House of Blues.
No, actually, what I was an extra ride because he didn't have enough. He couldn't fit everybody in the van, so I ended up going. That's how I ended up on the show. But that was an amazing trip because you know I got to meet Ziggy and got to work with him later on. You know, Ziggy Marley, the son of Bob Marley.
Exactly.
Got to work with him later on, and also built a good relationship with the House of Blues while I was down there. So
for sure,
it was cool.
And you know what, Ron? Like I said again, man, I've learned so many things from you, just being around you as a young person, you know, at that time. And I mean, again, man, your resilience, your professionalism, it speaks for itself. And that's why you have so many years in the game. And, you know, like like right now, you keep telling me you're on a soft retirement and stuff like that, you know, like you chilling for a minute.
He said soft retirement.
Yeah. Because I mean, I look at it like a Michael Jordan when he changed his number over to 45, he had to get back in the game, you know, just a different number. You know, and then get like, yeah, man, I'm back. You know, so I look at it this way for you. You know, maybe you might go ahead and just leave it alone for a minute. But dude, music, man, you're incredible producer, man. And you know, the world just needs to know it, man. And just, you know, if they can.
I appreciate that. You know, the thing is, like we were talking earlier, I said I think I'm graduating more to the executive stage now.
Gotcha.
Especially once I got a law degree, I'm able to help a lot of artists with, you know, contract issues, negotiations. It's like, you know, this year is 39 years for me in the business. So like I'm telling them, the stuff you learn in at entertainment law class and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, what I do right now and what a lot of the people out there do, you don't learn that in a book. You got to be in the mix, you know. So I'm bringing almost 40 years of experience, to the artist. So
Exactly.
like I just got an artist. I met some phenomenal artists last night. As a matter of fact, these two ladies, they're rappers. They call themselves AK-47.
Right. Oh Lord,
They're
gee.
actually some very, very talented young ladies.
For
There's
sure.
another lady out of Shreveport named Renee Caldwell.
Okay.
And then I managed three artists. I managed a blues artist named Dexter Allen,
Hmm.
uh, another blues artist named Stephen Johnson, who's the grandson of Robert Johnson, who,
Tell
the whole legendary story of, Robert Johnson sold his soul at the crossroads
right.
to the devil, to learn how to play the blues.
Yeah.
And a jazz R&B artist named Roderick Harper out of
Wow.
New Orleans.
Okay. Hold it.
So I'm working with them. I'm doing management on that, and
Okay.
just trying to stay busy.
Hey man, you definitely staying busy, man. Hey, tell the story. You don't have to say no names, but recently, a little while ago, just say a couple months ago, you worked with some artists, just helping them out. Tell the people, man, how it is you can get screwed around in a contract so easily. If you can touch on that.
I mean, one of the biggest issues I try to tell young artists is you got to learn the business.
For sure.
You got to learn the business. Now, the artistic part is cool, but you got to learn the business side. If you don't learn the business side, you're in trouble.
Right.
I mean, I've seen contracts where the artist was actually the artist was the premier person, the primary person in the contract, but they were paying him as a work for hire.
Whoa.
Which was interesting because it was his album, his songs, everything, but they were paying him $200 a song when he recorded, and he had waived all of his rights to any future royalties or anything.
Oh my gosh.
Which was absolutely crazy. So I got him out of that situation.
Okay. Now, to the people that don't know, what is royalties anyway? Like,
I mean, it's like when your song plays, when your song streams, when it's attached to a film,
right.
like you get a licensing agreement. When all of those type of situations, they pay a percentage of how many times it played, how many times it streamed. You get a very, very, very minute percentage. That especially with streaming is killing the game right now for artists. If you're on the corporate side, you're making a fortune, but if you're on the artist side, they're killing you right now.
Right.
That's basically what you get paid. The royalty is your pay coming back.
For sure.
For radio play, television, streaming. Most artists now are making a lot of money with merchandise and touring.
Okay.
If they can find shows, but with COVID-19, that killed the touring scene right now. So we got to find some other ways. So.
Yeah. So I mean, now since like with the technology of things and the way the game has changed from over the years, do you see? I mean, I guess now is the only way the artists are going to make money is through merchandising? Because I mean, with like you said, with this COVID-19 and kicked in, it shut the game down. Now artists are finding. I mean, I'm talking like the DJs. They found a new platform to make money as far as streaming DJing. Do you think artists? Because I mean, we've been seeing these little battles lately. Jill Scott versus.
You think about Jill Scott and Erykah Badu.
Right.
That battle at one time had 700,000 people logged in. Just imagine if you got a dollar a person.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? If they just made a donation, who wouldn't pay $1 to see the battle?
That's true, man. So that's a whole new income, and you ain't even left.
I mean, and you're paying it through PayPal
or Cash App
or something like that. So you've cut out the middleman. You're going straight to the consumer by doing these little concerts online like that. So that might be the new platform.
Dude, I can see that.
I mean, because just imagine if Beyonce challenged Janet Jackson. You could probably get $5 to $10, probably. But even if you got $5, how many? It's going to be well over 1 million people going to log in to see that worldwide.
Exactly. And you, like you just said, it's like pay-per-view. You're going to pay $20. You don't care about paying $20
just to see that. But if we talking 5.
Yeah, right.
If you get 1 million people to log on, you're talking $5 million.
Wow.
No band.
Right.
No travel costs, no hotels, all of these additional fees are gone.
Dude, that's incredible. That is, whoa. That's something I ain't even really thought about yet.
So
So,
because of COVID-19, that has forced artists to go online. And really,
exactly,
right now, this is the best time for independent artists and
for
up and
sure.
coming artists to promote online because everybody's on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because especially when people were sitting at the house doing nothing. I
Right.
mean, I've never seen that many people going live on Instagram or Facebook or different sites. They were just logging on because they didn't have anything else to do.
For sure. Dude, man, thank you for enlightening, putting something. I mean, I brought up a topic, but I didn't look at it that way. There is going to be a whole new platform now of easy money. Not gonna say easy money, but money to cut out the middleman to be made, dude. That's a good idea. I
I mean,
mean,
think about it. Think about it like this: if nobody logs into your show,
right,
your only expense is your cable bill
right,
or your Wi-Fi. That's
right.
your only expense.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're doing it from their home. They're
Exactly.
not going. They're not renting a theater. They're not paying. A 30-man or 80-man crew to set up lights and sound and pyrotechnics and all of that and tour
Sure.
buses, and you're not doing all that.
Yeah, yeah, and you've done it. And that look, man, I've seen you at work, man. That cuts out a lot of people, man. A lot of mouths being fed. But Ron, I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
ask you.
but that's the other side of it too.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
put a lot of people out of work.
And it's going to happen, man. It's going to happen in my industry. It's happening in your industry. Everything's changing now. Just like this past semester, I was teaching at Purdue University as a professor teaching video television production, and I mean we had to stop. Classroom. My class was designed to teach television production in the classroom, but just imagine when COVID hit, this class wasn't designed for online.
Right.
Thank God this is what I do in real life. I had to think immediately, how can we make this happen so the students continue to learn and be enthused? So I had to set up a platform, an online platform, and teach class through Zoom and other applications. But, quick thinking and having experience now of years to do it allowed me to okay, we can change this. And now, of course, now they're thinking about having online classes. In a class that I taught at another university said that we couldn't have it as an online class, that they want you to be in the classroom. But you're forced to do things, and that's what's happened. Like you said, in the music industry, artists, everybody got to continue to be, especially create. This is the time for anybody to be creative. This is
Absolutely.
the time to create, to keep this platform going on.
I
And
mean, you think about that basic artist who's a musician who plays saxophone.
right,
Once they shut down the clubs and all of that, what are you gonna do?
yeah, yeah,
If your sole income was based off of you being a musician.
mm-hmm.
So if when things shut down, I can run the studio,
Right,
I can do legal stuff,
yep,
I can do arrangements, I
exactly,
can do music copying, I can I can negotiate something if it's need be.
for sure.
So I mean, what I'm trying to say is, you need multiple
Streams
skill
of income.
sets
Yeah,
in order to keep you in the game.
exactly,
So you gotta, when one thing slowed down, when the studio slowed down, I went on the road. When the road slowed down, then I did something else. When this
mm-hmm.
slowed down, I was able to make tracks or something like that. You just have to be versatile, or at least keep people around you who are versatile enough to keep you in business.
Exactly.
So you find a team of young guys who very, very creative, and you just keep them working as much as possible so that they you're building their career, but also sustaining your own career.
Exactly. Listen, Ron, I mean, I appreciate you reaching, us getting together today. This means a lot to me, man. My audience that tuned in, just now tuning in, this guy right here is the man himself, Ron Carbo, and I appreciate him being on the show. A big influence in Cooley Video's life. He played a major role in getting me going when I was in school, and he guided me through and gave me the appropriate information and led me in the right direction. And that's why I'm still in business 20 years later, listening to this gentleman and his encouraging words. And thank you, man. And we're going to close the show out. Anything you want to tell the people where they can find you, or any projects that you'll be working on? I mean, even though he's on the executive side now, people.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be retiring, so
Okay. Well, he's retired.
Basically, you can always find me on Facebook or Instagram. I live on there,
Yeah.
Ron Carbo, RONCARBO on Facebook, and RONCARBO1 on Instagram. So it's very easy to find me.
And he's always making some hits. Got some artists in the background playing something. I love
Well,
it.
if not, sometimes I just sit here and listen to stuff that other people are doing because they got a lot of new and really creative up and coming artists. So
Gotcha.
hopefully traditional hip hop will come back around
Oh, okay.
and make yeah, I know we're touching on some toes right now, but hopefully traditional hip hop, where the true lyricists will come back around and the cats who really making beats and not just finding them on YouTube.
Right.
Become extreme, completely original.
Yeah.
And have a voice because you have a major platform.
Well, we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray for that one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Artists have to, one thing I want to say, man, artists have a platform. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You have an opportunity to push an agenda.
Right.
So you got a lot, and you can affect a lot of lives because a lot of kids, a lot of people listen to you and follow a person as an artist. So artists just need to have they need to be more responsible in what they put out.
For sure.
I'm not trying to censor nobody. I mean, I understand the artistry, but just imagine, just understand that you are affecting the lives of probably the next 2 generations behind you.
Exactly.
So just be conscious of what you're doing.
For sure.
It's important.
Listen, we appreciate that knowledge for those artists that are out there that's up and coming or old school artists, whatever it may be. The values of being professional and finding an entertainment attorney, finding a good producer. Make sure that you do your homework before you jump in a game in a business that you do not know about, because you will get cut and sucked up dry. And we being Ron both know that.
Yes.
Really tough.
From experience.
I can speak to that with myself. So
you only got to get burned once or twice to figure the game out.
Say it again, my brother. Say it again.
You only got to get burnt once or twice.
Yes, sir.
Figure it out real quick.
Hey, listen, Ron, I appreciate you, man. Listen, you stay safe, my brother, through this remaining of this epidemic that we're in and pandemic. I can't wait till this is all done and say with. Hey, enjoy life. I will definitely keep in contact with you, and man, thank you for being a lifelong friend. And then, always keeping in touch. We might not talk every week, we might talk every day, but you know what? We still keep in touch, man. I love you, my brother. You and the family. Stay strong.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Stay safe.
All right. I'm going to put him in the green room, y'all. Here we go. Check it out, y'all. You met my man, Ron Carbo. Definitely a great man. Super producer. Wonderful person. Hey, hope you learned something. I always try to have somebody on here that's doing big things. That's my audience. That's my talent. That's my people. That's my circle. And I'm so honored to have them, to take out a minute to just be on the show with me. People, enjoy your day. And thank you for tuning in to What's Real. Stay tuned every Thursday at 6 p.m. Be blessed. Be safe. And let's keep prayers for the family of George Floyd and so many others that we have lost. Peace. God bless. What's real?